He does not want to be the Republican nominee no more. He is hoping that Republicans do him the way the Democrats did Biden. He wants to be put out of his misery. You can hear it in his voice.
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. All righty. Well, if you don't know already, it is day 3 of the Democratic National Convention. And honestly, I'm pretty sure that you could figure that out if you just look at Trump's timeline of his truths or tweets, because the man has been freaking out. But on top of him freaking out, somebody made a really good observation. Charlamagne the God was on CNN, and he made an observation that I think a lot of people are just kind of overlooking. So let's see what he had to say.
I understand you just interviewed a special guest. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Wolf, when we were doing the roll call yesterday, we were down here covering it from the floor. You may have seen a special guest in front of New York's delegation. That was Spike Lee. I just ran into him on the floor a few moments ago and asked him about what this convention means and what it means to have Vice President Harris at the top of the ticket. And this is what he told me. You're here at the Democratic convention. What does it mean for you to be here to see Vice President Harris as the Democratic nominee?
As you can see, this is not Charlamagne the God. This is Spike Lee.
I wanted to be here. This is not history. This is her story.
Oh, stop.
She's going to be the first woman.
Is there anything more annoying than some Hollywood A-lister or just, is he even an A-lister anymore? I mean, dude, like, I think you've made maybe like a movie in the last 10 years. Like, the dude thinks that he's the Black Woody Allen. And, I mean, he may be. Do the Right Thing is a great movie. But just his demeanor is just annoying. It's like, he acts like everything he has to say is prolific. Her story. Fucking cringe, dude.
To be president of this United States of America.
Yeah, think harder.
Blended family. You know, the whole Howard University. HU, you know. So this is a amazing moment in the history of these United States of America, and we got to go forward, not backwards. We got to go forward. We got to advance.
Thanks, Spike.
You know, I can bring equity around this nation, where we will lead the world. So, you know, I travel a lot of times, and
good for you.
Outside the United States, and
when
this guy was president, people, total strangers, will pull me and say, "What the hell is going on?"
Donald Trump.
Yes. I try not to say his name.
No,
but
Caitlin, it's Joe Biden. It's Joe Biden that they're saying that about. God, she's so annoying.
People, total strangers on planes, just walking around all over the world saying, "What is wrong with America? How did that guy get elected?" So those 4 years where the world was looking at us like with the side eye, like WTF, and we know what that means.
Oh.
Wolf, that was over there by the New York delegation. Tonight, I'm standing here by the Minnesota delegation. Obviously, maybe one of the most excited ones here on the floor. That's because a Minnesotan has not been on a major party's presidential ticket in 4 decades, since Walter Mondale ran. And now, of course, Governor Tim Walz is preparing to speak in this convention hall tonight. And just to give you an indication of how excited they are as all the delegates are making their ways over to their seats, they have put Governor Walz's head on a 2-foot large sign to hold up tonight as he is going to be addressing this hall. And obviously, what is one of the biggest moments.
Just, yeah, you see these little things in wrestling crowds all the time. Some dude will just, like, a lot of times lately, this is annoying to me. And I don't care, like, hot take. If you put a picture of your baby's face on one of these and you hold it up during a whole show at a wrestling event and you're in the front section, I'm just going to, on behalf of everybody sitting behind you, say a giant F you, and you're not as clever as you think you are. And nobody gives a crap about your baby. I'm just saying it.
Of his political career, a moment for him to introduce himself. Out of all the speakers who were on that list tonight, he is probably one of the least known nationally. And so tonight he's going to be introducing himself.
Speaking of wrestling, you think they got to take their chairs home if they sat on the floor?
Not just to those here in the room, certainly not the Minnesota delegation, but to everyone who is watching at home, Wolf.
and all of us here will be watching it very closely. Caitlin, thank you very, very much. Aaron, back to you.
All right, Wolf, and joining me now is Charlamagne the God, host of the Breakfast Club radio show. Also the author of the newest book here, Charlamagne, Get Honest or Die Lying, Why Small Talk Sucks.
What's up, Aaron?
And also the co-founder of Reason Choice Media. And Angela Rye is back, which is wonderful to see you.
Thank you.
Co-host of the Native Land Pod. All right, so you heard Spike Lee there. He's talking about Donald Trump. He doesn't like to say his name, but talking about how he feels that he believes that Kamala Harris is going to be the next president. You said something the other day, Charlamagne, that wasn't saying you don't think Trump can win, wasn't saying you don't think any of that. It was you don't think Trump wants to be president anymore. I just want to play it. Here it is.
He does not want to be the Republican nominee no more. He is hoping that Republicans do him the way the Democrats did Biden. He wants to be put out of his misery. You can hear it in his voice.
You believe that?
100%. I think.
I love how he's laughing at his own clip.
What Nikki Haley said when she said the first party to get rid of their 80-year-old candidate was going to win this election. I think that's going to come to be true. And I think that he's just over it. I mean, the guy did just get shot at. A month ago? And I think there's some PTSD involved. I think everything that you're seeing right now from Donald Trump is just a response to trauma. He's just staying busy because he absolutely has nothing else to do. Or maybe it's just his ego saying, hey, I need to continue to run because I want to stay out of jail. But I don't think he wants to be the nominee in any way, shape, or form.
Do you think that too? And do you think it goes back to that moment when he was shot at?
I don't think that part. I do think that he is running to stay out of jail. I think the Trump family saw quite a boost, even economically, from his presidency. And I think Donald Trump would do anything to stay out of jail. He has a bunch of folks who follow him. He won at least the Electoral College in 2016. And I think that's what this is about. I think that he has a huge ego and it gets in his own way.
At some point, you got to say enough is enough, though, right? At some point, it's not worth it. You got all of these criminal charges. You're getting shot at, Oh,
I wasn't talking about her talking, by the way. I was talking about me sucking up my last bit of coffee.
I don't see no enthusiasm from him when he's on the trail. The joke's not even hitting no more. He's never been a big policy person.
He's playing the hits.
He wants to be out here no more.
And he's lazy.
I guess if you're talking traumatic.
He's literally doing the thing that stand-up comics do, where if they are bombing, I just covered this in a Joe Rogan video, where when they're bombing, they'll pull out old material that they know hits, and usually it's out of panic because they're so not used to the silence. And guys like Joe Rogan are just like, fill the silence, get a laugh, no matter the cost.
On a traumatic basis, psychological basis.
And now Trump he's doing the same thing, but he's doing it lazily. And he's also got no energy. Like, let's be real. He has zero energy lately. Have you seen his press conferences? He looks just so tired. Listen, I didn't think that I'd be running against her. I thought I'd be running against the old guy. But here I am. Fake news.
But Charlamagne, what about the jail issue? I mean, if he loses, never mind pardons and whether Biden pardons him the way out. I mean, just say all that actually happens. You still have state charges that could result in a really long time in jail.
I don't think we'll ever see Donald Trump in a jail cell. He's a white man in America who was a former president. There's a different level of privilege with that. I don't think jail is actually an issue. I don't think we'll ever see Donald Trump in a jail cell.
Michelle Obama talked about that. That's the real affirmative action, the kind that lets you fail forward.
Absolutely.
So she did talk.
We've never even seen him in handcuffs. With all those criminal charges, we've never seen him in handcuffs.
Just
one
a
mugshot.
That's it.
No. I know people say that, like, oh, he's running because he wants to stay out of prison. Donald Trump is not going to prison. So I'm sticking to what I'm saying. I don't think Donald Trump wants to be. I don't think he wants to be running for president right now.
Definitely hasn't been sentenced yet.
Okay, you mentioned Michelle Obama and what she said. Now she talked about talked about black jobs, right?
Love that.
At the convention a couple weeks ago. So she made a comment about that last night, which was very well received in the room that we're sitting in here. Now let me just play her.
Who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs?
The best was the face after, because we know what that means. And yeah, I think that the reality of it is this has been a black job only once before, and it's about to be a black job again. And the reality of it is, if Donald Trump was anybody else, even in the Republican Party, he would not be where he was.
Round of applause to Michelle Obama, too. A fantastic speech. The audacity of President Obama to go after her. He should have been opening for Michelle Obama.
I agree with that.
Yes.
That's interesting. All right, so can I ask you about RFK Jr.? I don't know if you just heard this.
That's a great line. The audacity of Barack Obama to go after her. How he can't follow that.
We've just confirmed that he is going to get out on Friday, and that there's a discussion as to whether he will
I just didn't see a path forward.
At that time formally endorse Trump. All right, so when you look at this, does that make a difference?
Which means that I may have accidentally taken my campaign just by talking.
Given, you've
and it's not the way I talk, it's the substance.
Talked to every single one of these folks.
No, I mean, listen, I think that there is going to be a time in this country where there are third-party candidates who can have real impact. But when you say RFK Jr. got out, I mean, was he ever really in?
No.
Come on, we know it's a two-party system in this country.
Yeah.
You know it's going to be a Democrat. You know it's going to be a Republican. Somebody like RFK Jr. never really had a chance.
He may not have had a chance, but he had some numbers. And I know there were questions, Angela, does it go Democrat? Does it go Republican? Do you think, and obviously endorsements are what they are, doesn't mean people are going to go along with it.
Yeah.
But
listen, no, I think, again, she's just in, political media. She's so used to just doing the thing where it's just like, oh, there's an endorsement. That means that this person's supporters are going to go support this guy. No. The fact is, he's literally just giving Trump back the voters that he was going to lose anyway to RFK, which, again, that kind of hurts Kamala a little bit, but not as much as they think. And on top of it, I have a feeling that it goes the same way, because like what they were saying was that he's pulling pretty much half and half from each, especially like the independent vote. And then the Kennedy name alone was also kind of confusing people. So, which that's sad. I mean, really? Okay. But I get it. He's a Kennedy. He's literally Bobby Kennedy's kid. So, but yeah, it was one of those things where it was just like, okay, well, do I vote for Robert Kennedy? And it's like the Gary Johnson vote where you feel better about it. You stick to your independent morals and you take a vote away from Trump and, presumptively Kamala. Because again, I think Biden getting out is the reason that he's leaving. I think that the Democrats actually having traction now, he realizes he's just like, oh, Trump needs not only help, but I have a feeling like he's just going to end up looking worse. Although, how funny would it be if he ends up going with the Democratic Party?
Does it help Trump?
It's not going to happen.
If RFK Jr. does give that endorsement.
I think the only person that RFK Jr. is interested in helping is himself.
Yep.
He's shopping for cabinet positions. He says these crazy things. He's got these crazy conspiracies. He's been trying to land a plane on some type of virality for some time. It's not working.
Charlamagne, you've interviewed Kamala Harris.
Yep, a few times.
All right. And you everybody's come on your radio show. Everybody has to come on your radio show. She hasn't done a big interview in a while here, and certainly not since announcing. Are you going to talk to her soon? What do you think? What do you think she should do? Would she do better to ignore all those calls to talk and just keep doing what she's doing?
I think.
Yeah. Do you think she should come on our show and answer some questions? We'll be fair.
What she's been doing is works because, what she's been doing is hitting the ground. And I think, sometimes we forget about the ground game in this digital era that we're in, this era of interviews. Sometimes, not sometimes, all the time when you're actually on the ground shaking hands, kissing babies, actually touching people, that goes a long way. And I think she'll get the interviews after the DNC. But, this week I think she got bigger fish to fry, like going out there tomorrow and knocking a home run speech out the park.
Mm-hmm. The one thing on this that I think is so important is folks are spending a lot of time talking about what she's doing on the camera. Mm-hmm. There's also a behind the camera side. And I think one thing that's very consistent about Kamala Harris is you can best believe she's having conversations. She's going to have them on air, and she's certainly having them off air, and there's no gap between those two.
All right. Well, it's great to see both of you
in person.
Thank you for having us.
And together. All right. So thanks, and wonderful to see you.
I love Charlamagne. Thanks for having us. All right. I want to get out of here now. Oh, man.
You both, Charlamagne the God and Angela Rye.
I understand you just interviewed a
Nope, 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 nope. Well, that was Charlamagne #1. If you don't already watch The Breakfast Club, definitely check it out. Charlamagne the God has some just hilarious takes, and he's like one of the stronger centrist voices in media, which I hate the fact that they even, dub him a centrist because he's just an average guy, man. Like this idea that you need to label your, people that even agree with you in your political atmosphere as something other and then just be like, well, I can't associate with you because you're a centrist. Like we're doing that again, you're a liberal. Meanwhile, Hassan is at the DMC or the DNC, seeing his favorite liberals, rubbing elbows with them. So every time that he's, feigning like, oh, these liberals aren't left enough, blah, 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 whatever. Again, I kind of find it counterproductive to, sit there and label, but whatever. That's just the mood I've been in lately. As you can see, he's gotten a little sleepy. So I think I'm going to move on to the next one. So if you like this, leave a like because honestly, it really does help. I've been noticing the little push in the algorithm. Comment, but definitely subscribe, please. I'm trying to get to the 1,000 subscriber mark. It really helps if you do. Also, shoot me a comment. Tell me what kind of content you're into, what you like about this stuff, and what I can do better. I do appreciate the feedback. So I will catch you in the next one.